Right? Should be live. Hello, everyone. It's a little bit of a different thing today. It's not me playing this time. It's gonna be me casting, actually. And it's gonna be me casting PeaceLover versus Excal in a best of 9 that I'm sponsoring, actually. So, $20 down the line. PeaceLover just played Size just now at a pretty convincing win, 6-2. Some minor errors here and there, but it's fairly normal to have minor screw ups, especially if you're playing the top of the top. Originally, I was thinking of doing a second set between them, the PeaceLover and Size, but because they're taking a bit of time, thank you, Virus, but I'm not playing today. This time I'm casting, but thank you nonetheless. Let's see. Yeah, he is funny. So we're just waiting on PeaceLover. I'll just message him. Think I'll give first pick to PeaceLover probably. He's underdog in this situation, so I want to see him win to see maybe he'll pull something out. Excal is very consistent though, so it's you have to play extremely consistent if you're gonna be up against Excal. No doubt about it. Hello, Roll. Hello, Anthony. Okay, there's PeaceLover. So yeah, just to repeat it because everyone is joining in now. Actually, I'll make it fair. Let's see. Okay, he actually gets it right. Yeah, I was putting 2 as my number to pick. Hi, Biggie. Hello, Felix. I'm gonna just stipulate that. Good luck for casting then. Thank you, Virus. Appreciate it. So yeah, best of 9, $20. I'm doing best of 9 instead of a best of 11 because it's kind of late for all 3 of us, so I don't want it to take too long. And if it, I can imagine games could go long, so I don't want it to go for 3 hours. 2 hours would be okay. Koyan. It's Canyon Frost. Ooh. Like, have fun. Let's see. Tank Super. On this map, it's actually kind of interesting because you could do one of 2 routes on this. You could either camp it out, which I've done actually. I prefer camping it out as super on this, or you could just do the no eco. I mean, both routes are fine. I think Excal is going the no eco routes based off of this dozer alone. Yeah, because he's gonna make a barracks forward, and then he's gonna make, yeah, this is no eco position 100%. Normally, if you want to play it defensive, you could put a Patriot here, take these garrisons with MDs, put a Patriot like here, and then you could actually bunker it out a little bit with 2 supplies for a bit. Once you survive the initial wave, you can easily get a couple of Vs and start pushing out. But yeah, since this is going to be a no eco game, we see a forward barracks from Excal, as well as a forward ore factory, just to minimize the distance for the Vs. There's 2 war factories from PeaceLover, nothing unusual. It's basically as standard as tank goes. And Excal is sending a dozer to the cliff over here, and he's sending his forward dozer through the middle, next to this Stas tower. It's not the Stas tower, because the Stas tower is like a brown minaret. This is more like just a, I'd say, a Gothic watchtower. There's the first gap going down to the, so I think Excal now is aware, or sorry, Marius is now aware of the Noika, but I think he predicted Excal to camp it out, so he made a troop crawler. It's not the worst against Noika, but it doesn't really threaten the Vs. It's just kind of damage soaked with the red guard. It does kill the spy drone using the troop crawler's detection. I think he queued up an outpost in this one maybe, because it's taking a while. Did he? Yeah, he did. This V is at half health, and there's no ambulance yet. It's coming now, but yeah, if Mary's engages this now, this could be a good opportunity to kill the V. I think, yeah, he needs to take it. Now the V is low, the ammo needs some time to heal. But the problem is that there's 2 full Vs and really good angle to attack. Yeah, it's 1 GAT only, and now the V is no longer critical damage, so can go at normal speed. Mary's moved one of his dozers to the 3rd supply, but not much luck in terms of clearing out this no eco, unfortunately. There is a gap going to Excal supply. And yeah, now that Vs are full health, it's going to be very tough to defend this, because yeah, the GATs have to chase the Vs in single file like this, so it's going to be really easy to burst down GATs as they're chasing like this, as opposed to like this line formation. Yeah, Red Guard finally get released, but yeah, this is also the other issue. It starts blocking your own units, so you have to micromanage it quite a bit. And even if you do micromanage it, at best they're damaged, so at worst they block your own units. It's good for phasing away the Vs, but it doesn't really threaten them. There's actually 2 Vs that parked here defensively. Mace is doing a good job to hold. This supply should have been healed a while ago. It's kind of a mistake. It's not those are. It's a pretty big mistake, actually. He doesn't have money to rebuild instantly. He's building the prop at the top left, which is pretty smart, actually. Although this gap might be a bit dangerous to send from here again, because that might tempt Excal to check out this route, or send the Vs through here. And if he sees that prop, I mean, that's gonna be terrible for Vs. It's 5 Vs out now, and I think all of them, or majority of them, yeah, all of them actually have something, except this one, which is tanking it as well. This GAT is gonna be annoying, so it's gonna force Excal to defend it. I think that V is the empty one? Yeah, it's the empty one, so it doesn't really matter if it's that. Yeah, this red guard's doing a good job soaking rockets, but yeah, I mean, at this stage, if you're fighting 4 Vs, most of which are full, there isn't really much you can do. And yeah, there's an ECM, but 0 GATs. Yeah, this is gonna be instant GG, I think. It's GG from Mace. I mean, it is very irritating to fight.
You have been defeated.
But I think Mary's had a good job defending it, but I think he needed to repair that second supply as well. Not repairing the second supply is pretty massive, because it means Vs have to spend more time. Hello, wait. Marakar is talking with himself right now. my voice is kind of low and consider decreasing game sound. Yeah, I can do that. I mean, I am literally talking to you guys. So in a sense, I'm talking to myself, Chinex. Okay, we can try with Excal hosting. Let's see. Hello, Mark. Are you friend Furious Control 7? I know Furious, yeah. Uh, hello, Mr. Marker. Who's your favorite player outside OOE? Uh, Probably tie between Reznov and PeaceLover. Let's see. Hopefully the game sound isn't too much at this point. Let me just try and decrease it slightly. Tell me if it's better. Let's see. Okay, so Mace as the super weapon, Excal as the tank, and just based off of this alone, I think everyone in the chat knows what this build order is gonna be. He's putting a barracks here to fake out no eco. Excal hasn't put a barracks to rally scout this, but I imagine he's just gonna anticipate it's a no eco by default. Now, Mace needs to be very careful actually about this, because these towers are very brittle. So if Excal randomly sends like a Gatling even, or even his outpost to attack the tower from this direction, he could just insta-kill the war factory. That's just something to keep in mind. This is... I don't know if this is actually more efficient. This is slightly... Yeah, I guess, because the distance is kind of... This is way wider compared to this. Yeah, this distance is way closer. But technically you are collecting 2 Shinux in one, so it's not that bad. There's the first cat. Yeah, it's good. Okay, nice. Thank you, Madar, for clarifying. Yeah, so first Gat and outpost wave is here. This V hasn't achieved much yet. He might kill a Gatling, which is good. If you can pop the outpost as well, that'd be good, but the tank hunters are evac. Oh, he's gonna lose the V. That's massive. Yeah, as soon as... You have to be very careful, because tank hunters deal a lot of burst unexpectedly. Sometimes what I notice, especially when it comes to people who fail with this no eco build is, and this is even including myself, is that you have to be very aware of the difference in damage rates compared to tank hunters versus gatlings. So gatlings, they might chip slowly, but obviously if they're spun up they do an insane amount of damage, and you also have to keep in mind sometimes some players, like I think Google, they like to get chain guns early, even against no eco, so you have to really keep that in mind. And same with tank hunters, but instead of chipping, tank hunters obviously deal a lot more initial damage. Sometimes people get psyched out by that difference in damage rate, and as a result it screws them over a little bit. This dozer is gonna get picked off by Excal, who is getting a very fast prop, and he has a significant Gatling army. Even though Peace rebuilt his no eco squad, I don't think he has a way to actually break Excal, because he can kind of just move back and forth. This is very smart as well. These mines are gonna really limit the mobility of these Gatlings a lot, or these Vs, sorry. The last dozer is still here in the bottom right. I have to turn the angle to the camera to see it. And yeah, I mean the ECMs are out. No sign of a strat. I mean, Excal can infinitely defend against this. Wait on a Lotus, build up to MiGs. I mean, there's no way PeaceLover breaks this if Excal just postures defensively. There's even an outpost that's just standing by here. I don't know if these tank hunters are from this outpost or this is a fresh one. Oh, this is from the same outpost. So this V will sneak in. He'll maybe kill the prop. But the problem is that Excal still has this army that's pretty uncontestable for the most part. So this is good that Peace is like pressuring the prop and stuff, but now he's gonna lose the league if he's cornered. I mean, yeah, this is the nature of no eco. The game usually gets decided by that first V. Like if tank is on top of it, there isn't really a way for US to recover, like after ECM. Having said that though, if US stays on top of the tank, I mean, there's really no counterplay for tank either. Like if US does play perfect from like a theoretical standpoint. This Gat snuck in here. I think it killed the... Did it kill the Chinooks? No. The Chinooks got pulled away, but... I mean, yeah, ECM Gat lock entering the production line. It's gonna pick off a couple MDs. 1V gets disabled. He has 1V left. 1V is not gonna be able to fight every single army on the map like this. That's GG. Yeah, I mean...
You have been defeated.
I personally hate no eco games, but... I mean, I personally am a fan of bunkering in that situation. It's super. It's effective to no eco, of course, though. Like, there's no denying the effectiveness of it. Maybe it's more tiring streaming and commentating than actually playing. Yeah, streaming and commentating can be tiring, Little Black Cat. Like, you can definitely be tired from commentating. Like, Scouts picking oil rampage, that's very deadly map for both him and for me. uh, oh, I love this matchup actually on Oil Rampage. This is probably one of my favorite ones, to be honest. The US mirrors on big maps. Okay, PeaceLover as the vanilla super versus Excal as super weapon. So super weapon's obviously pretty good on Oil Rampage. You got 7 oils, 2 in the front, 2 near your CC, 1 that's here on the outskirts, and then you have 2 oils here and a refinery in the back. And you have pretty limited base supplies, a pretty heavy third supply. But yeah, I feel like Super's got... This can go either way, honestly. Super's really good at holding down all these entrances and just bunkering up. At the same time, though, US has really good potential to just overrun with pure Tovi spam. It's kind of similar to how Super and US plays normally anyways, but that's just a more extreme version of it, just because you have way more money on the map to contest. I like what Excal is doing. He's combat dropping these forward oils, and he's gonna put an MD. What I would do is I would send one of the rangers to capture the oil, and the other one with this MD to force fire. But I think he's doing the alternative, which I also like, and I think this makes more sense than a US mirror, just dropping the MD off near the supply. Keeps the Chinooks away. It's 1 MD, so it's not that costly on your early game eco, and it disrupts his eco. Having said that, Mary's decides to go for a forward dozer. I think he dropped it with his Chinook. Yeah, Excal's gonna capture one of the oils with the Ranger, which is nice. Excal is posturing to crush anything that enters this. There is an MD to laser lock this. You should be able to deal with it. Yep. And Mary's is denied here. Those are actually bugged out, so it's the barracks a little bit with the laser lock. But yeah, Mary's is dropping his first war factory. Excal is only now dropping his first war factory. He might laser lock that dozer and delay the war factory. That'd be good. That's actually really important that he does that. Because Excal is the super as well, mind you, so it's not like he's gonna be V-spamming that much. He's probably just gonna be focused more on just full Vs for like the majority of the game, whereas Marys can actually transition to toe spam very quickly. I really dislike this early firebase because I think a barracks at this position would probably be more useful, just because you run a V into into the dead zone of this firebase, and you can easily overwhelm it. Whereas if you put another barracks here, you can actually just produce some more rangers and MDs. If Excal takes this, you can clear this up. And obviously, having an easy way to reinforce this is probably better. He needs to make another dozer as well, and need to get his second supply. Excal is already on 2 war factories, 3 barracks, and 3 Chinooks. Excal has taken all his oils, he's just needed the refinery. Marius has taken all his oils. Marius is a bit slow on the expansion. And yeah, another reason I dislike this firebase, especially because his dozer's damaged too, so it took a while to drive here. He could have just dropped another war factory. Because if this dozer is damaged as well, it's just gonna take forever. Excal is dropping his first EMP. He's gonna get the EMP on the right denied. There's an EMP in the middle being dropped. Loads of infantry on the left to block any sort of V harass. So defenders get disrupted, unfortunately. The middle EMP also gets disrupted. I wonder, does he have a flash ranger in here? If he had a flash ranger, that could have been good. He did, but I think it was on machine gun, unfortunately. Yeah, now he's in the garrison. I think he has his own flash ranger from Excal. Oh no, he doesn't. That's pretty good so far. I mean, like, he's also gonna lose a dozer here, so it's just gonna be annoying to expand. Excal hasn't taken the refinery, which I think is genuinely important as super, because getting Vs below 850 price is pretty significant. Airfield is being dropped, although I would like to see some MDs being queued up right now from Excal. I think he's focused on microing here. And yeah, Marius is only now dropping the second war factory. This second war factory is extremely late, and he still hasn't taken the supply, so it's kind of even, but this game, the longer this goes, the better this is for Excal, because he's got access to Auroras. If it gets super late, he can easily spam particles, because he has 3.5k particles, whereas Vanilla US has 5k particles. And I think Marius is going to lose his first oil here. There are probably going to be some trades, but I think ultimately Marius is going to lose this oil, which is pretty significant. Although these are MTVs, I thought they would be a lot more full. But yeah, I think he'll barely finish it off. Burden gets detected. Unlucky for Excal, but good map awareness. Good map awareness here, evacing immediately. But now the problem starts for Maze. He has to deal with these alphas. Alpha can obviously one-shot the strategy center, so if he just force fires across the map, kills the strategy center, his Vs are going to have an inherent advantage. Maze is going to contest with vanilla Auroras as well, but I mean, obviously alphas are better, so unless Excal has some pretty bad shots and Mary's gets some pretty phenomenal shots, I don't really see this going Mary's way at the moment. This refinery is missing from the capture, unfortunately. Burton goes for round 2 on the right side. It's a bit bold because he did get caught by a V last time, but he might have scanned to check if there's a V there right now or not. Alpha still hasn't been used, I think, has it? It's being used now. I think he's going for the Vs. He killed an airfield and 2 Vs. I mean, that wasn't the greatest hit, to be honest, but having said that, Excal is not really in a position where he has to make moves either, so there's a lot of action, so that's why I have to speak constantly, basically. Let's see. There's a Ghost Aurora. Maze gets a time bomb on the soil. Burn goes down. Yeah, this is what I was talking about with super on this map. I mean, on one hand, US has the ability to Toby spam like crazy. Oh, Burn stuck down here. I think he's gonna get a second oil if he get... Yeah, if he knifes this ranger, he can easily get a second oil. Yeah. I mean, now I definitely think he's lost this. Yeah, you can just use the Auroras to hit these, because even one particle is enough to put immense pressure on PeaceLover at this stage. Let's see. The time bomb actually kills a V as well, due to the AoE. And Spectre hits the airfield. Excal is concerned about Auroras from Peace himself. Heard an A10. Alpha plus A10 finishes the oil. And Peace is only on 2 oils and a refinery. He's got 2 Auroras, but having said that, you're not really gonna outcamp Super Weapon if they already are ahead in money. Yeah, I mean, I think given the matchup, if you're playing US and you're on a timer already because you don't want Super to bunker down and get to alphas, you need to be maximizing your opportunities for nice air show there. Both A10 planes get intercepted. Yeah, you need to maximize your opportunities to kind of win the game. Your window of opportunity as US is the early to mid game, but past that, I mean, Super is easily favorable just because you have so many defensive options, whether it's the EMPs, the Auroras, the cheaper particles. So yeah, like, early game, we saw that PeaceLover only built his second war factory after his strat center. Whereas Excal actually had 2 war factories before he even built his strat center. Like, Excal's build makes sense if he was US. So I'm very surprised that Peace didn't go for this Tovi spam way sooner as a result. I mean, he's gonna use these Auroras to hit the airfield and the strat, but Excal's got a backup airfield anyways, so it doesn't really matter. What needs to happen for Marius is that Excal needs to force fire his Auroras onto his EMPs as he's entering, and maybe I think even then he's still gonna struggle because these Avengers are gonna make it very difficult for any damage on Excal's V's himself. That was a really good Aurora hit actually. He killed 3 Tomahawks and an Avenger. That's the best hit I've seen in a while. Also, I did not know a heroic Avenger actually lives a Aurora hit. That's actually interesting. I've never seen an Avenger live in Aurora. Oh yeah, advanced training is something you should also pick up very early. I think PeaceLover just picked up now, but Excal should have had it a while ago. Because keep in mind, if you're getting extra vet on the Auroras quickly, like if you have a vet 3 Aurora with countermeasures, it's actually surprisingly tanky against like the tow missiles. So it is worth picking up. Even if you're worried about giving extra vet with Auroras. These getting the extra vet is very significant. It's a fuel air bomb. I think that was Aurora on the airfield. Last oil got killed by the Spectre. And yeah, I mean, Marius is dwindling economically, whereas Excal is kind of thriving. He still has 6 oils and a particle, and he's got a drop zone here that he's successfully defended. Yeah, and Marius calls it GG. I also forgot to update the score from game 2, but it is 0-3 for Excal right now. Yeah, I mean, I think a Tovi push is necessary if you want to beat out Super on a map like this. Like, you can't wait it out. You have to focus on either constant harass, which I think Mary's was doing pretty okay at the start. He forced Excal to respond to the proxy barracks, but he didn't really have the greatest follow-ups in terms of dealing actual significant damage. Like, he denied a couple dozers from building Patriots, but he didn't actually deal any damage to the eco. So now we're going to be playing the reverse. So I think what's gonna happen here is that Excal will probably Tovi spam like crazy because I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if he recognizes that's the win condition that PeaceLover kind of missed in the last game as well. So it's the reverse. Peace is super and Excal is USA vanilla. I'm wondering, is PeaceLover gonna do the same style of drop again, or he just does a dozer and a barracks, or is he gonna try with some infantry this time? I think Excal's idea was pretty okay. I mean, this isn't really a... This is as generic of a drop as I think you can go on this map, and it's a pretty effective drop. It doesn't cost a lot, and it can actually net you some economic gain if you successfully drop and capture one of these oils, so I think it is a pretty good bread and butter drop. Although Peace is going for a much more defensive approach earlier on. Hmm, not sure. This Patriot early is kind of weird. Because going for this early Patriot does delay your money a little bit. Or your expansion. But having said that... Oh, this was a missed laser lock. You should have done this from the start, but Excel's gonna lose this anyways. First caps are going out. Excal is doing his cap. I mean, I say Marius and PeaceLover interchangeably because he goes by multiple aliases, but I've known him as Marius, I've known him as PeaceLover. It just slips up randomly. It's not really, it's not really in my control, so sorry about that. No War Factory yet from Excal. I think he's gonna drop a second supply and maybe build a War Factory with another dozer. But Marius actually has 2 Patriots up in pretty good positions. There's only this position he needs to lock down, then he's fully covered actually. So this is kind of a decent start. He's actually made the War Factory here with this dozer. I missed that. Oh shit, I did not see the donations. I'm very sorry, Nike. Let me just double check that. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, Nike. I was just focused on the game. I need to be tabbing out as well. There we go. I'll read the donation right now. Just give me a second. I should really change the notification from the subscribe sound and the donation sound. I'll make sure to do that for next stream. Damn it, I need to see the messages. Sorry about that, guys. There's a flash clear over here, which was well done. Oh, I see the donations. Uh, Nike is or Nike is donating 1 for donating for hockey to guess your age. I mean, it's out there. Like, I don't know why he's guessing I'm 16 or 17. Like, it's I genuinely don't even understand the joke on that one because my age is known. Like, I'm not gonna say it on stream, but if you look, you can probably find out for yourself. And the second donation says, I heard Marikar is King Tutankhamun reincarnated. Um, yeah, my ancestors, they built the pyramids. Or no, they didn't build the pyramids. They were the ones that forced the people to build the pyramids, I guess. So yeah, Excal is gonna try and headbutt this with the Tovies. And he does break the Patriot. Mares is rebuilding behind it. Search is being constructed very soon for both players, actually. But having said that, this Flash Ranger clearing this garrison is pretty massive, so now this Patriot's under threat, and Excal is rallying with 4 War Factors, so this is the Toby spam I was talking about that's very deadly to deal with. Now having said that, Mary's can actually micro pretty well if he goes with his own rock beast to sort of kite these empty Tobies, but he's kind of just attack moving right now. This Patriot's very lucky to have popped this. This oil actually still isn't captured yet, surprisingly. And these Flash Rangers are clearing up every single missile tender. And I don't think Mary's realizes that this is giving Excal an opportunity to funnel in more bees through this choke point. And there's this tiny window where Excal can like run basically free into Mary's base. Because Mary's is just reinforcing. He doesn't even have a consistent army at this stage. Although these bees will get caught up. I'm very shocked that Mary's doesn't have this supply still. Yeah, this is a fairly common mistake I notice on this map as well from people, is that people tend to forget to expand to their second supply. And because this is cleared up, Mace actually has 4 Chinooks here, and he's not even spreading out his collection. The Search and Destroy gets killed from Mary's. He's low power as well, because these bees are killing the power plants. And Excal is just relentless with this aggression. He needs advanced training, because he's totally spamming like crazy. He should definitely get advanced training. Spectre is being called in. I think it's gonna hit up an oil. Hits the airfield. Okay, that I 100% disagree with. I don't know why he hit the airfield. Like, he's worried about the alphas, or not the alphas even, just the vanilla auroras, but I would not have wasted it on that. That is a leaflet. Disables 3 Vs and a spy drone. Good laser locks, but you have to keep in mind Marius's production is basically being camped, and Excal's funneling in from 4 war factors. I wouldn't be surprised if he even drops a 5th at this point. And even if he calls in an alpha right now, it can easily be killed on the airfield. He actually gets the emergency repair. I do like that because these V battles are all about that little HP differences, and then you start snowballing with veterancy. Yeah, power's gonna be shut down again, and Marius is dead. Yeah, I mean, we expected the Tovi spam from the US, and it came from Excal. So, fair play to Excal for executing it. I think, I mean, Mary's still kind of screwed up as well. He didn't get the second supply when he really should have gotten it way sooner. Like, there's no excuse to not have your second supply. And if you have that second supply, obviously you have more money to work with. More money you have to work with, more you can reinforce. Mary's picking a Snowy Drought as his second map pick. He's 0-4 down, so Excal only needs 1 more win. And he wins the set. Oh boy. This is a pretty volatile matchup in general in FUS, so got Marys as the USA Vanilla and Excal as the China Infantry. Real Egyptians are different. They aren't Arabs who build pyramids. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, there's a pretty large range of types of Egyptians you can meet out there. I mean, sometimes people attribute Egyptians as just like pyramid people, or they just think they're Muslims. But like, there's like, for example, like Orthodox Egyptians. Like I think when I was in Egypt, like a summer ago, my neighbor, he's actually a Orthodox Christian. So you meet a lot of different types of people from Egypt. 100 million people who are Egyptian in the planet. It's a pretty large population. There's the first outpost. So going back to the actual game and less about the Egyptian demographic. 4 Chinooks from Mary's. I think this is 2 MDs and a V. And he's got a pretty full outpost from Excal. He's bunkered up his forward supply. I like this build. It's pretty generic, but sometimes the best builds are just the generic ones because they're generic for a reason, they work. Marius has a fire base on the right side. Doesn't have this garrison though, so he might be able to sneak in and brute force that. Outpost is being attack move with the tank hunters. A bit of a mistake. I think if he just attack moved with the tank hunters, he could have saved the outpost and re-garrisoned after he cleared out the MDs. Nice force fire from Mary's. Racks open the outpost. Needs to TNT this quickly. Yeah, good TNT from Excal. The TNT is actually on cooldown because he TNT'd with all his tank hunters. So he couldn't TNT the ambulance. And Excal's going for a quick propaganda. I like Marius's position. He actually has flashbangs already even, so okay, I really like Marius's position, so I think yeah, depending on what this V does, I think this could potentially tip the game into Marius's favor here. When I think of Egypt, I think of Mo Salah. Yeah, Mohamed Salah is very much a cultural icon as well. I mean, Egyptians love him. I say that as an Egyptian. Mendoza goes down and a V, which I think had a Ranger, is gonna go down. Though having said that, Excal has bought time to get his propaganda. No strat center yet from Marius. The issue now is that this ECM blob is gonna be pretty deadly. And while he's fighting this ECM blob, Excal's probably gonna save up for Black Napalm, get his Lotus out to take the refinery and the oil. And that's, by the time that this gets cleared up, he's gonna have MiGs to hit these Vs, and he's probably gonna lose some Vs defending against the CCM blob, so... Oh, there is a Tovi. Drops off Rangers. No capture though, so he can't take the tech buildings for himself. He's dropping a 3rd firebase. Oh, that's a bit premature. Oh, okay, the Dozu didn't drive in front of the power plant. But yeah, this army is very untouchable right now unless ECM deflect really screws up Excal. Especially he's got minigunners too. Yeah, and I think Excal is gutless. Yeah, I think Excal is screwed here. Or why am I saying Excal? Mary's, yeah. And he's actually going bunker licks instead. I mean, any air unit is gonna crush this at this point because he's barely got any units left over. I mean, the ECM blob isn't even fully cleared up yet still. And this Helix is kind of the nail in the coffin. He's trying to capture this, but those are hunted. 1 barracks left. 0 production soon. That's gonna be the set. Oh, I don't think this is a full bunker. I think there's like only 2 or 3 tank bunkers in this. This is the licks, but I mean, even then, Mary's still rank 1. He's nowhere near Pathfinders even, and even if he gets to that stage, 2 MiGs with Black Napalm will easily clear up the speed. Like says, if I didn't know you were Egyptian, I'd honestly think you were American. You sound like it. Yeah, I get that a lot. That's fairly common for people to say that. Mace is holding to the last unit, but I mean, yeah. Thank you, Mara, for the challenge. GG's. GG's. And yeah, fair play to Mace for being a good sport. Excal does get a good whitewash. Warfare MC just sub, thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, pretty quick challenge. So let me just see if Excal wants to do a quick interview. Alright, Excal is up for a quick interview. Let me call him. Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
hey.
Yeah, well played there. It was a good whitewash victory. But yeah, like, how'd you feel about that set?
Yeah, I mean, as we've seen with a lot of the tough sets, that if one player's minimizing his mistakes and the other makes 1 or 2, then the score looks nasty.
Mm.
But I don't think it was as nasty as the score line was showing. But I think, yeah, I mean, it got off to a good start in what is just how you micro your Vs, basically. So
Mm.
yeah, that can go 1 of 2 ways. It could be a disaster, or you get your win. And I managed to get a 2-0 at the start. I think Oil Rampage could have been won both ways, but he just didn't break my camp, and in the reverse, I did break his camp.
I think he
Um,
played the wrong build order in the first game when he was vanilla US. He got his
seemed,
his
yeah,
second
he seemed quite passive. Yeah,
his second war factory was built by the time he finished the strat center, and I was
right.
expecting like massive Tovi spam very early
Hmm.
on. Like by the time you had your strat, you had 2 war factories for a really long time as well. So
Right.
I think he just had the wrong execution of like strategy overall because I don't think he recognized like obviously you can't really win the long run against super. You kind of have to muscle through.
Hmm.
And that was
I
a common theme throughout the set as well, I've noticed. It's just a lot of these small mistakes exponentially adds up. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, and suddenly you have an insane lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think his idea was, and I was adding in extra power plants, was to use those auroras to either get me offline or get my strat, which he did actually do, which makes it a little bit more dicey. But I was adding in more power plants just in case he took my power out, which was, I think, a nice idea, and definitely could have caught me off guard. But it's very difficult because for a $900 EMP, you kind of cut off a whole path. Really, it's just so much value on Oil Rampage, one EMP. So
I mean, I
yeah.
think I remember some of your Aurora hits were a bit questionable. Like
Mm.
I think you at one point you hit the airfield and two Vs with your
Yeah.
first two Auroras, which I was a bit confused about because
Well, I was a bit panicked when I saw the Aurora and I got the Excal of my power situation, and I was worried he'd get me offline and then push in somewhere. So I used one alpha there just to instantly shut that down because I knew if I could buy a bit of time, I felt like be okay if I was adding in more powers and stuff. But yeah, my hits on the Tovies weren't really great, to be fair.
yeah, but I think I mean that's the thing as well. Like even though you had some minor mistakes, those mistakes are valid. Whereas I mean, not adding in multiple war factories early on obviously is significant. So I mean, it's a common theme in a lot of these top level sets where what usually ends up happening is that the tiniest of like small differences ends up adding up significantly. I don't know if you remember that China nuke game we had in our last set, the one where the truck barely missed the crush.
Yeah,
Like for example, like that seems extremely insignificant to like an observer, but in game that's like a massive like difference because like
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
because you
It's not just the 1K boost. It's the money I'm getting supplemented after that as well, and that equals
and
more
even the
pressure
truck,
in you. And yeah, yeah,
like the truck being taken out of mining time as well adds up
yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean very well played honestly. Like it is like not easy to obviously like be consistent, but I think that was very consistent play for the most part, and yeah, I
yeah.
think
That
viewers were
that
happy.
felt pretty good. It did. So I felt pretty clean, floated at times, but yeah, I think I made the right choices, and macro and execution can vary a little bit, but yeah, I think strat wise and map wise, I think I got the right, if you like, strategy choices in terms of builds and stuff. So yeah, no, definitely enjoyed it, and it's nice to see Peace in some sets. I think he's, as we saw against Size, he can definitely do it. So
Yep.
yeah, be interesting to see more of him for sure.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, it's late for me, and I'm
Sure,
imagining it's getting late for you as well, so I shall end off the call.
sure.
So,
Thanks for casting and setting up that challenge, and yeah, I'll let you sign off. All right,
alright,
GG's.
GG's, take
See
care.
you.
Alright, and with that, I'm just gonna ask Excal to send his PayPal and stuff so I can send him the sponsor money. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was a very impromptu challenge set up by me, but finished in relatively good timing actually. So yeah, GG's well played, and see you guys later. Hopefully, me playing next time. Maybe I'll also be sponsoring more challenges in the futures. Who knows? Anyways, take care, guys.